The distress beacon had been silent for 3 days when Anna and Jackson found the wreckage. Their survey vessel, the Meridian, had picked up the faint signal while charting the outer rim of the Kelvar system. What they discovered on the moon's surface was a disaster. A Vrathan warship, split open like rotted fruit, its hull scattered across kilometers of frozen wasteland. "Scan shows no survivors," Jackson said, his fingers dancing across the console. His voice carried that careful neutralness he always used when death was involved. Anna studied the readings, her jaw tight. "We should check anyway, protocol." The Vrathan were apex predators in every sense, 3 meters tall, covered in obsidian black fur, with 6 limbs that ended in retractable claws capable of shearing through steel. Humanity had fought them for 2 brutal years before the ceasefire, and the scars ran deep on both sides. Most humans would rather let Vrathan corpses freeze than risk approaching them. But Anna had never been most humans. They suited up in silence, the kind that comes from working together for 5 years in the black. Jackson checked her seals twice. She pretended not to notice. The moon's surface was a hellscape of jagged ice and volcanic rock. The wreckage had carved a trench 300 meters long, debris fields still smoking despite the freezing temperatures. Anna's breath fogged her helmet as they approached the main hull section. "Life signs," Jackson suddenly announced, his scanner pinging. "Faint, interior compartment, starboard side." They moved faster. The hull breach was recent enough that the edges still glowed cherry red. Anna slipped through first, mag boots clanging against twisted metal. Emergency lights flickered in the corridor beyond, casting everything in sickly red. The Vrathan they found was young, barely more than a cub by the look of it, probably 6 or 7 in human years. Its breathing was shallow, one arm bent at an impossible angle, dark blood pooled beneath its small body, freezing in the thin atmosphere leaking through hull fractures. "Anna," Jackson warned. His hand moved toward his sidearm. She didn't respond. Something about the cub's face, the way its eyes were closed, the small whimper that escaped its throat, punched through every carefully constructed barrier she'd built during the war. Anna knelt beside the dying child. "What are you doing?" Jackson hissed. She pulled off her glove, ignoring the instant bite of cold against her skin. The cub's forehead was soft under her palm, warm despite everything. Anna leaned down and pressed her lips to its brow, the same way her grandmother had done for her during nightmares, the same way humans had comforted their dying for millennia. "I'm sorry," she whispered. The cub's eyes fluttered open, brilliant gold, like twin suns. It made a sound, something between a purr and a sigh, and went still. Jackson grabbed her shoulder. "Anna, we have to go now." She heard it then, the click of claws on metal, the deep resonance of Vrathan voices. They'd been so focused on the cub they'd missed the other life signs. 4 adult Vrathan warriors filled the corridor. Their spears, energy weapons that could punch through battleship armor, raised and glowing. The leader, distinguished by scarred muzzle and silver-threaded fur, growled something in their clicking language. Anna stood slowly, her bare hand still outstretched, the cub's warmth fading from her fingers. She didn't reach for her weapon, didn't make any threatening moves. She just stood there, a human who'd shown mercy to their young. The lead Vrathan's eyes, the same gold as the cub's, locked onto hers. It looked from her to the body, to her exposed hand, to her face. Something shifted in its expression, some calculation running behind those alien eyes. The warrior lowered its spear. The others followed, mechanical and synchronized, weapons pointing at the deck. The leader made a sound, softer than before, almost reverent. It stepped forward, towering over Anna, and pressed one massive paw against its own chest. "Kelvara," it said, the universal translator struggling with the nuance. "Honor debt, you gave peace to Kira, my daughter." Anna's throat closed. "I'm sorry for your loss. In war we kill," the Vrathan continued, each word careful. "But you showed her death. Without fear. Without hate." It gestured to the other warriors. "We were coming to kill you, human. Revenge for our ship, our pack." "I understand," Anna said softly. "No." The warrior's head tilted, a gesture almost bird-like. "You do not. In Vrathan law, a life debt must be repaid. You gave my daughter peace in her final breath. This is sacred." It raised its spear high, then drove it point first into the deck where it stood vibrating. The other warriors did the same. "You have safe passage, humans. You and all who fly under your banner." The warrior touched its forehead, then extended its paw toward Anna. "Tell your people, Commander Kelthar of the 7th Pack remembers mercy." Jackson helped Anna back to the Meridian, his silence loaded with questions he didn't ask. She sat in the pilot's chair for a long time, staring at her hand, the one that had touched a dying child and changed the math of war. The message went out that night, transmitted across human space. First contact revision. Vrathan culture prioritizes honor bonds above tribal warfare. Compassionate actions toward young may supersede conflict protocols. 3 months later, when the permanent ceasefire was signed, Kelthar stood beside the human delegation. Witnesses said the Vrathan commander spent the entire ceremony with one paw pressed over his heart, his golden eyes fixed on a small human woman who'd proven that sometimes the most human thing and the most powerful thing was simple kindness toward a child, even one who wasn't your own, even in the middle of war.